Hello indeed. I am Collin Post, publisher of Expat Chronicles, the blog about my life in Latin America. The original tagline was crime, violence, sex, and drugs from a gringo in Latin America. Upon hitting the streets in Bogota, I saw that Colombia is a very different animal than Peru. But the point is, I quit drinking as soon as I moved to Bogota and started publishing articles such as fruit in Colombia and arepas in Colombia and other articles that weren't as salacious. There was a void. There was a void for the readers who had grown accustomed to the sensational, crazy stories that only happen in Latin America. And that's when I met Christopher in Plaza Lourdes of Chapinero, Bogota. He's a 57-year-old Irishman. It came out pretty early that we had both led troubled lives when we were young. Christopher, however, had been locked up in the La Modelo prison, the nastiest prison in Colombia, for 4 years. He had been a drug mule trying to bring cocaine back to Ireland. Then it came out he'd been locked up in Ireland, he'd been an alcoholic. He had also tried to write his life story. He was interested in telling his story. So I offered to publish his stories on my blog, and he was all for it. In hearing more and more of these stories, I came to see that Christopher's maybe worth more than a few blog posts. I came to see maybe he's worth the whole book. He talked about guys like Tony Filoni, who the Irish press dubbed King Scum, as one of his pals, and the Dunn family, who was a small crime family in Dublin. He was locked up in Bogota with Los Priscos, a famous Medellin band of assassins that worked for Pablo Escobar. I mean, he was in the thick of things. He was a desperate, degenerate drunk on the streets of Bogota at the time when Time magazine called it the worst city in the world and the capital of a country that was the most dangerous country in the world. We always talked about writing his book, and we slowly started publishing stories over the years that I lived in Bogota. Now, in October 2011, I was in Peru and I married my wife. I spent a year there, but we spent a week holed up in a country farm outside of Villeta with Christopher, and I conducted intensive interviews on his entire life. I audio recorded 39 hours of every detail of his life. Upon returning to Peru, we learned my wife was pregnant. I mean, your life becomes providing for your family. A quote I like from Mario Puzo was, "A wife was a woman who bore your children, and once that happened to you, your life was forfeit to providing them their daily bread." And that's what my life's been since she got pregnant, providing them with their daily bread. I can't just run off and teach English in Latin America, running up a bunch of credit card debt while I write this book. I have to feed these two people behind me. And I've been waiting tables full time to support us in this apartment. And it's not a great paying job. It's about $2,000 a month, but that covers my monthly expenses in a way that I can still provide for our life in Lima a year from now. To write this book, I need to quit my job. To quit my job, I need to feed my family. So I'm asking you for 2 months living expenses. In our Spartan lifestyle, in this cheap apartment, the biggest party in this apartment is a red box DVD, a frozen lasagna for my wife, and a 12-pack of beer for me. And we play right here. I need 2 months of food and rent, $2,000 a month to write this book, plus $299 for a sweet book cover, $100 for the generous cameraman doing this video in advance, $4,399, and you will have This Mixed Life in 60 days. 60 days from when this book is funded, you will receive This Mixed Life in PDF. I'm asking you to donate to get This Mixed Life written, but I'm throwing in some sweet prizes for you to do it. For just $1, I'll give you a mention with a link on my blog. For $10, you'll get a PDF of This Mixed Life and Lima Travel Guide, Insider Advice from Expats in Peru, which I recently co-authored with David Lee. Other prizes include a story Christopher doesn't want published on my blog, but at this point, I don't care because I was there. I have my first book, which I published about my brief career in Colombia's sex trade, which I unpublished due to my new status as a family man. It's currently unavailable. You can only get it by donating to this campaign. And finally, the crowning jewel of the prizes, in my opinion, are the 39 hours of audio interviews I did with Christopher, because most of the content is not going to make the final cut for the book. So it's basically 39 one-hour podcasts. And then there are other fun prizes like lunch with Christopher in Bogota, or with me in Lima, or even full-day tours. Please donate. Please back this project. As I said, the only risk is that this project does not get funded. Let's make this mixed life happen, finally. Thank you.